Hey, so guys, your boy Milt here to do another video, and welcome back to my 5-part Star Wars: The Clone Wars series story arc reviews. So in this review, we're going to talk about a pretty good story arc that I think is relevant to everyone in the Star Wars world who've watched the Clone Wars, and it's the Mandalore arc. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details about it because it's such a large story arc that stretches over like 3 or 4 seasons. But I will say it started in season 2 and it concludes in season 5. And pretty much, the Mandalore arc has something to do with, the Mandalore planet is ran by Duchess Satine, who's like their queen, and she's a pacifist leader. She doesn't believe in the war. She doesn't believe in violence. She believes that, our planet should be neutral in the war between the Separatists and the Republic. Now, for people who don't know, Mandalore is supposed to be, well, they're known for like their warriors, and we all know who Boba Fett is. Boba Fett comes from the Mandalorian bloodline. So that's a good tidbit of knowledge for you guys. But anyways, so it starts out that Duchess Satine doesn't want the planet involved, but they have this group on the side that's like a militia group called the Death Watch. And they believe that, no, we need to get back to our warrior ways. We need to fight X, Y, and Z. So pretty much that storyline plays out throughout seasons 2 and 3. I'm pretty sure some shit goes down. If you watch the Clone Wars, you know. If you haven't, this is a great arc you need to watch because it does a good job of talking about some politics stuff in Star Wars, but also some great actions, a lot of great storytelling. Get to see a lot of great characters that you know, that you heard of, and some characters you never heard of. But it's a cool storyline. So then, eventually, the storyline shifts. That, Mandalore is going great, everything's okay. Then more corruption starts. The Death Watch is back again, and they're backed by the Separatists throughout this whole time. But then another character comes into play, which is Darth Maul. Darth Maul, who we know from Episode 1, who was cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi, he comes back. He didn't die. He was found, sort of resurrected in some shape, way, or form, but he was crazy. His brother survives, oppressed, found him. If you've seen my Night Sisters arc, you know who that is. Savage Press finds him, brings him back to the Night Sisters. They revive Darth Maul, get his mind back, and he becomes who he is eventually. And he just goes on a war, just a tangent, wants to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, get revenge, but also take over the planet and take his rightful place as a Sith Lord / Sith Master. And you just see this play out, and he builds up an army. He works with the Death Watch. He gathers all the underworld criminals and the different organizations of the underworld in Star Wars and builds a huge sort of empire for himself and takes over Mandalore and says, I'm ruling this planet and we're going to be our base of neutral location, And that was cool to see that. It was cool to see Darth Maul, just come back with a fucking vengeance, and, want to drop the hammer on people, especially Obi-Wan Kenobi because he hates him for, ruining his life pretty much. But this is the cool thing about that series, though. Chancellor Palpatine, a.k.a. Sidious, Emperor Palpatine eventually, he comes into play, and he kicks ass, too. And just to see how this whole Mandalore arc plays out is awesome, because this one was like one of the last major arcs before, Disney decided to buy Lucasfilm, and then whenever they just decided to end the show of Clone Wars. This arc stood out because it was such a large story that George and Dave Filoni could not tell it in one season. There were so many moving parts about this story that had to be stretched, and I liked that. And then whenever they finally gave us the proper order to watch the episodes, it played out smoothly, which was awesome to see. I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi's character in this whole series. He had a tie-in with Duchess Satine, maybe a former lover, maybe not. They go into it somewhat. They don't really tell you if they actually were lovers, but he had feelings for her. She definitely had feelings for him. And there was one part, I guess, early in the Mandalore arc, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker talk about their relationships and why it's so hard to walk away from the Jedi Order. And Obi-Wan says, I could have walked away if I wanted to, but I didn't. Because, you know what I'm saying? Which was cool that you got to see that Obi-Wan actually had a relationship sort of back in the day with this Duchess. Another positive, the action throughout this whole series and arc in particular was awesome. Like, again, Dave Filoni and George Lucas know how to do action in Star Wars for sure, and especially with this being an animated show, it was awesome. Like, I have nothing but else to say about it. Like, just to see, like, the lightsaber duels, the gun fights, the ship the space battles, off the chain. Like, great. I love seeing Emperor Palpatine / Sidious get into the action and fighting Darth Maul, which is cool. Darth Maul's a badass in this, by the way. And again, how the story wrapped itself up. It was inevitable that Mandalore was going to become what it did at the end. How it played out. The planet became unstable, the government became unstable, and the Republic had to step in and take over. That was going to happen regardless. And it was cool to see that. It was cool to see how that story played out. So, look, I think this is one of the best story arcs in Star Wars history, besides just being in the Clone Wars. I would love to see this in the live action version, but obviously we won't see that. But again, I felt that this is a great arc that needed to be told and need to be talked about. So I'm gonna grade this arc on point. No, hell, not on point. It's go see this mofo. Let's keep it real. Go see this mofo. It's one of those story arcs, especially at the end of season 5, how they wrap it up. Great. And this takes place before the Ahsoka storyline, but this one is in particular is one of the best ones too. And I say that every week, but it's true. So there you have it, folks. My review of, my last part review of the Clone Wars story arcs, in particular Mandalore arc. Have you seen it? Are you going to watch it? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Now, I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars Rebels, which is the next animated series, probably next weekend. I might do just season 1 and 2 all together, or just do season 1 and separate and season 2 separate. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Like I always say, comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Hey, shawty, what it is? What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? Little buddy, what you on? Some violent shit. Two-stepping, laid back, still.